Thank you. The second part of this presentation has to do with the procedural matters as it pertains to the election process. I read for you out of the Elections Act, Section 36. And Section 36 says, for the purposes of every general election of members of the House, and for the purposes of the election of members to fill vacancies in the House caused by death, resignation, or otherwise, the Governor General shall issue writs under the public seal of the state addressed to the returning officers of the respective electoral districts for which members are to be returned. Such writs shall be forwarded to the Commission for transmission to the several returning officers. Every writ shall be in the form set out in Form 1 in Schedule 3 and shall specify A. The day of the nomination of candidates being not less than 7, with not more than 14 days after the date of issue of the writ. So as indicated by the publication, the writ was issued on the 20th of May. On the publication that came out on Saturday, the day of nomination was the 27th. So clearly, it did not meet that requirement. And as a consequence, a subsequent publication was issued yesterday, the 23rd. And the date of nomination was changed from the 27th to the 28th in order to fulfill that requirement. The day upon which, if necessary, the poll shall be taken, being not less than 7 days and not more than 14 days after the date of nomination of candidates. The day the writ is returnable to the Governor General, being not more than 7 days after the polling day. Upon receipt of such writ, every returning officer shall proceed to hold the election in the manner hereafter provided. Section 37 now is the notice of time and place for the elections. Upon the issue by the Governor General of a writ, the Chief Elections Officer shall give notice thereof, and of the day and place fixed for the nomination of candidates by publication in the Gazette and one or more local newspapers, at least 7 days before the date fixed for such nomination. So when the publication was first done on the 27th, there was 7 days before the publication, before the 27th of the publication. But the publication of today, which is the 23rd, if you're now to take 7 days, so it says here, upon issue by the Governor General of a writ, the Chief Elections Officer shall give notice thereof and the day and place fixed for the nomination of candidates by publication in the Gazette or in 1 or 2 local newspapers at least 7 days prior to the day fixed for such nomination. So if you have a publication on the 23rd and you add 7 days, it's the 30th. So we contend that there has been a procedural error, a miscalculation that needs to be corrected. And we contend that nominations day cannot be on the 28th and ought to be on Monday, the 30th. And if in fact that is agreed to, it means that elections cannot be held on June 6th. And maybe what everybody has suspected all along, that this haste in which the Prime Minister is moving and his fixation on the date of June 6th, which I myself and I believe many other solutions find confusing, cannot be. Party will be writing the appropriate authorities to highlight this procedural problem in hopes that we can get this matter rectified as quickly as possible. But I'm hoping that the government and the Prime Minister, who's responsible for the Elections Department, Elections Commission, does not wait for that letter, but moves with haste to rectify the situation. And we continue to be concerned with the rights of our democracy, as highlighted by the moral and ethical decision by the Prime Minister to hold, one, elections on the same day as CXCs, and two, to cause any citizen of this country to have to compromise on their religious rights, to trample their constitutional right, is unacceptable, and we're asking the Prime Minister to fix this situation with great urgency. And if he doesn't, and even if he does, I am calling on all St. Lucians that we must put an end to this level of arrogance and insensitivity and uncaring of this government. And that when we do eventually go to the polls, that we do the right thing and we put an end to the Dr. Kenny Anthony era in St. Lucia. An end to the era of arrogance and uncaringness. Thank you.